What's up, Hop Hog Greater Community? This is a little bit different of a call. We have a leadership luncheon here today. Exciting stuff. We're doing it this way because in a few moments, the Blue Angels are going to be flying over Stony Brook Hospital. We're not exactly sure on the time, but we think it's probably in the next 10 minutes. And so we happen to have that a leadership lunch planned already with the leadership class. And so we're gonna hang out a little bit. Hope my phone keeps service as we do this, and then hopefully record as well. Should be a good opportunity. So I got Dan, Sophia, Michaela, Ella, Alex, and Mrs. Kalesa on the phone call. I'm going to ask them to come on and say hello, and you'll hear my kids screaming in the background as we do this. So I'm going to go for mute for a little bit. So Dan, come on and say hello.
Hey everyone, hope all is well.
Good stuff. Sophia, jump on in.
Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well.
Michaela, what's up?
Hi, hope everyone is doing okay.
Good stuff. Ella, jump on in.
Hi, everyone.
And Alex?
Hi, hope everyone's staying safe.
Good stuff. And Mrs. Kalesa, you've been one of my favorite participants more recently. What's up?
Hello again, everybody. Hope everybody gets to enjoy the beautiful weather outside today.
Yeah, it's pretty outrageous. It's pretty great. It's been last week was a tough week too, so the weather's more appreciated this week. So listen, we have the Blue Angels doing something nice here, flying over as a kudos to frontline workers, particularly hospital workers. This time, you do things in life where you think are going to be of value. I work in schools because I think it's important to work with young people. There's always going to be young people. There's always going to be people that need education. And then there's people that go into be, doctors and frontline health providers. And I think it's never been more clear to me. I've been lucky to be pretty healthy throughout my life, but right now it's never been more clear that the real heroes in life are doctors, nurses, healthcare workers that take care of people and help with people survive through really tough times. And that's really never been more clear to me. And the appreciation I have for that line of working is tremendous. So really appreciate the nod that we're going to give frontline workers and health workers soon. And on top of that, then we have, our military personnel who protect us in other ways. And so to have a nod from military personnel, particularly the Blue Angels, toward our health workers is just really a tremendous sign of respect and gratitude that I think is something that will mean a lot to the area. So as we get into it today, I want to hear a little bit about what leadership means to the people that are in the leadership class. This year, Mrs. Kalesa really launched a wonderful class that we have working with young people about what leadership means in a really complex way. So I think we'll have each of the students go forward and just talk a little bit about what they've learned leadership means. And then I'm going to have Mrs. Kalesa talk about just how this class came to be and like some of the things that you might discuss in the class after the students kind of give their thoughts and their opinions. So Dan, jump into it. What does leadership mean to you?
Oh, well, for me as an athlete, it's definitely like a huge part of that. So for me, it just means being able to, step up and take control, be a role model, especially like when no one's watching. I think that's huge.
And congrats, cool signing day experience for you recently. Congrats to you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, Sophia, jump in. What do you think it means? What does leadership mean?
I feel like leadership means taking charge during tough situations and being there for others during those times.
Beautiful, and I can see how that translates right now to Michaela. What does leadership mean?
I think leadership means somebody who's really responsible and somebody who's going to influence somebody to do the right thing. Like what Dan said, like with sports, you have to have like a leader out there on the field to like get you through the game or whatever. Same thing in school, you need somebody who's going to influence you to do the right things.
Yeah, good stuff. And I think the idea of leaders as influencers. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos recently, and I think it might have been a Kobe Bryant video, where he talked about leadership is really like influencing the person right next to you. That's what leadership is. And I thought that was a really cool way to frame it. Alex, what about you?
Leadership is kind of taking charge and doing things that not everyone would want to do. Not everyone wants to be a leader. Some people don't want to have that role, and being in a leadership role is really, it's great for just kind of everyday life, just being a leader, and that's what leadership means to me.
Wait, I did Alex? Did I do Ella? Did I skip over Ella? Ella?
I feel like leadership means doing the right thing or helping others.
Good. Well, Mrs. Kalesi, you just heard a little bit about what leadership means to some of your students. Can you talk to us a little bit about the class and you know what you've hoped to impart on students and what you've hoped to help them explore?
Yeah, I was really excited to get the opportunity to launch this class this year. I think we have a lot of students who naturally take on a leadership role in a lot of different ways. So it was a great opportunity to work with some of those students to kind of guide them in the right directions to see how they could use some of these skills and talents, you know, to help the school community as a whole. But it also provided an opportunity for some students who maybe aren't so outgoing, maybe aren't already so involved in what's going on in the school, and to provide them the opportunity to connect in different ways. So we've done a lot of different projects as a class to get involved in a number of different ways. We've done some small group work. And now that we're separated, we're just trying to find different ways that we can stay connected with each other. Thanking those, like you just had mentioned, you know, being able to give thanks to those that are working so hard. And last week, we participated in the Smithtown Youth Bureau's Kindness Rocks. So the class painted rocks and they brought them down to Smithtown Town Hall underneath a thank you sign for all of the essential workers. So just kind of a cool thing to kind of show how we're together in this and to show our appreciation.
Great. I'm going to pivot for a second because I was inspired by your line of commentary to just ask the students on this call, like, you know, you're all leaders in one way or another here at Hauppauge High School. I'm just curious, like, when do you feel like you've grown as the leader the most in your experience? And it doesn't mean necessarily like when have you demonstrated leadership the most, but really when do you feel like you've grown as a person and as a leader most, and what experience here at Hauppauge High School? Dan, can you start us off with that question?
Yeah, sure. So for me, probably sophomore year, I made varsity basketball, which kind of was a big deal for me because basketball was never my sport as it is. So I think just the upperclassmen like taking me under their wing, showing me how they lead, even though like we weren't that great of a team. Just like every day in practice, like still continuing to grind it out and fight on, even though we weren't like obviously one of the best teams.
Yeah, cool. I really appreciate the space you can learn when things are tough and that when challenges and things aren't going your way. Those are definitely learning experiences. Sophia, what about you?
I feel like stepping up into this like new environment, into the high school with my friends and peers and all that, really took a like turn for me, and my leadership role with my group like changed completely.
Excellent, thank you. Michaela, what about you?
I feel like it was this year, like when school started in September. Well, I play soccer, so I just feel like being on the soccer team really like just inspires people to always do the right thing, and like having such like great coaches by my side for those couple months and just always teaching me to do the right thing and to be a leader. I think it also like really brought up my maturity and like just made me a better person overall.
Awesome, thank you. Ella, what about you?
I joined winter track this year and it really helped me be more confident and look out for others.
Great. And Alex, what about you?
I don't really do any sports, and I haven't done any sports during high school, but I feel like I've always been a leader inside, but just doing this leadership class and even having that available to me, I feel like it's brought out so many other things. Like from this class, I get inspired to do so many other, like take part in so many other leadership roles, and I feel like this class is really broadening out the.
Good stuff. Yeah, Alex, I look at you definitely as a person with a lot of strength and fortitude. So I'm excited as you grow and even move beyond Hauppauge High School to see kind of just the way you step into leadership spaces. That really, I find you be a very strong-willed person that kind of has a sense of themselves in a really positive way. So I'm looking forward to it. Mrs. Colesta. Oh, what do we got? Here we go. Maybe. We're going to see if we can video it. I don't know. Oh, there they are. Look at that. You guys see it or no?
No.
No,
I feel like I could hear it.
No, not at all?
But I-
They
flew
just went
by my
over
house.
here.
That was crazy. You see them, guys? Children, so that doesn't count. Well, that worked, sort of. I'm gonna have to look back at the tape, see if we can find them. You guys didn't see it at all? That's too bad. They literally flew around my house.
No.
All right. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get reacclimated here.
Whoa.
Back in action here. How's that? You guys there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mrs. Colessa, yesterday you talked to us a little bit about on the coach's phone call about some people in Hauppauge that have served as leaders to you. Curious if you might take us a different direction, remembering back to your experience in Hauppauge generally. There are other people? Yesterday you talked about some, but here's another opportunity to talk about maybe a couple other people who have influenced your leadership over time.
I mean, coaches definitely had one of the biggest impacts. It's one of the reasons why I am doing what I'm doing today. But, I was very lucky that, I had so many different supporting, I definitely had a big supporting cast, which was nice. So my coaches were fantastic and I was very lucky to work with them. But now you're asking me to remember a lot of names. But I'll never forget having, I never took TV productions, but I'll never forget having lunch with Mr. DePetris every day in the TV productions room.
Yeah.
Because they got involved, they were helping to record our basketball games. So I made a connection there, and then that's it. They became my family in the building, and I was having lunch with them on a regular basis, which was really cool. I was always in advanced math, was never really great at it, but my math teacher senior year, he just got it. He knew my strengths and he knew my abilities and maybe my limitations. So when we had a big game, he would let me go down and talk to Atkinson and or my, some of my players, he'd give me that break, when he knew I needed it. So I was very lucky to have a really awesome supporting cast in a number of different places in the building.
Cool. Well, I appreciate that. And before we do a final round on you guys having a chance to give a shout out to somebody, I think this conversation has made me reflect on something. For now, Hauppauge High School students, it's really the only time in your life when you will be in an experience, and of course K through 8 as well, where people are really their job is to help cultivate you as a human being and help lead you in a way that is taking you forward in life. And some of your answers have talked about the positive interactions you've had with other students and staff, and that's great. But our key here has to be when you graduate here, you are positioned to understand that you take charge of your development and your growth from that point forward. And that's not to say that you're not going to be on teams and other spaces where people are going to be working to take care of you. But when you leave here, the core responsibility of your development as a human being and as a leader falls on you. And I think as I've gotten older, I think that's exciting charge. It's a little bit of a nerve-wracking charge, but the key you're learning right now is really you're leading yourself and leading yourself in a way in which you want to lead others in this world. So that's a little meta thought for you to chew on a little bit. As I sit in this chair for hours at a time, I tend to be more thoughtful as the day goes on. So that's what you get with a leadership lunch. All right, so guys, let's close it out. Let's give a shout out to anybody you want, really. Dan, take it away.
Shout out to the whole baseball team and seniors especially, not even athletes, just everyone in general, for getting like the end of their year robbed. And shout out to everyone on the first responders. They're doing a great job, especially my aunt. She's head of nursing at Sloan Kettering in the city, and she's working like crazy shifts and just administering everything. So shout out to her.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. Sophia.
Shout out to all my friends out there, and then all the health workers that are working during this tough time.
Good stuff. Thank you. Michaela.
Shout out to all the senior athletes, because I really feel for them. I would hate to have my season taken away from me. So yeah.
Got it. Thank you for that. Ella.
Shout out to all the athletes and seniors who lost the end of the year and all the first responders.
Good stuff. Alex.
Shout out to all the seniors, not just the athletes, and all the first responders and essential workers. Even if you're not a first responder, you still have to get up and go to work every day in this dangerous situation. So.
Yep. And Mrs. Kalesa, take us home. What do you want to shout out?
I'm going to shout out to all of my students who have become essential workers. I have quite a few students that are currently working right now, whether it be grocery stores or there are quite a few others. And it's incredible, like, that you've taken on this responsibility, despite everything that's going on. And I thank you, because you really are essential. Like, we need to eat, we need to have food, and we wouldn't be able to do that if people like you weren't willing to go out to work every day.
Yep. I can't echo that enough. Super cool to hear some of the stories of people, our students, our 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds jumping in and doing really important work right now. Listen, leadership class, I love that you took this class. I love that you're still grinding to learn what you can about leadership. There's a lot to learn about ourselves and about leadership in this time, despite what feels just like a still time in a lot of ways. All right, guys, I appreciate it. We'll hit the end of the recording button, pop on, say bye, and we're getting out of here. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.